It's a new day, a new dawn for the Minnesota Vikings, and new general manager Kwesi adofo-mensah, as well as head coach Kevin O'Connell, need to decide who's going to be on this rooster. And they inherit a handful of in-house free agents that some may want back, some maybe not. Some maybe past their sell-by date, and some maybe just didn't get a chance under the previous regime. And the Vikings being currently $16 million over the 2022 salary cap, even though hashtag cap is a myth, it's going to be good to go. So we're going to rank all 18 of the Vikings' current free agents. Well, 17 unrestricted free agents and one exclusive rights free agent, which is basically, hey, you're on the team. This is how much you're making. The Vikings don't have any RFAs this year, which is interesting. But we're going to rank them. Who should be back, who should not be back. And it's a balance of cost, position of need, as well as age. So all of that has to factor in coming on in. So at 18, yeah, Mac Alexander. This one hurts, man, because I loved when Mac came back, but he was not good. And Brashad Breeland, as well as Cameron Dantzler, took a lot of heat for how they played. Mac Alexander was straight bad all season long, so he's not going to be back. I would welcome a guy like Bryce Callahan coming over from the Broncos. His history with Ed Donatel makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, 17. Slinging Sean Mannion. We saw everything that we need to see from Sean Mannion in the Green Bay game. So, no, you gone. We're just going to start chunking these. So, 15, 16 respectively. You got Wayne Gallman, who came in as a backup running back when the Vikings were having COVID issues in the running back room. No. And also Chris Herndon, where Rick Spielman, you got to love the guy. He always tries to make trades and whatnot. And after Irv Smith went on IR with his meniscus, they traded a fourth for Herndon and a sixth. Remember, it wasn't Herndon straight for a fourth. There's a difference between a mid-fourth and early sixth. So you're fine. But Chris Herndon, no. Especially since the Vikings probably going to use a lot more 11 personnel. I mean, multi-tight ends is probably going to be a thing of the past for the Vikings, especially if they do let Tyler Gronklin go. So it'd be what it'd be. 14, Rashad Hill. Where Rashad Hill is a perfectly fine, serviceable swing backup tackle, but I'm more intrigued by Blake Brandel, who they used as a sixth offensive lineman as well as a backup guard last year. His true position is left tackle. That's what he was as a sixth-round pick out of Oregon State. And I think that he really developed nicely last year, so I don't think that there's room for Hill. By the way, Hill got paid a lot of money. I mean, Hill almost got $3 million for last year. Wow. Crazy, man. But yeah, you can't handle Blake Brandel. There you go. 13. You got Cheeseburger Eddie Arbro, where Eddie only came back in because there's a bunch of injuries and Rona at the edge rusher position. Eddie's whatever. He does have some experience as a stand-up outside linebacker with the Bills as well as at Wyoming, where his alma mater back in the day. So maybe like league minimum, nothing guaranteed. Camp body, maybe. 12. So this one's tough for me. So Everson, obviously I love, and he showed last year he still has plenty in the tank, and that's still a skill that can get you paid late into your 30s, right? If you can still get the quarterback, that is a premium. But Everson, he needs to focus on everything except for football right now. But if everything is copacetic and good to go, maybe. But at this stage of his career, especially since the Vikings are moving to a multiple front and maybe even a 3-4. I mean, Everson, he doesn't quite have enough size to be a true 5-tech, so a 3-4 defensive end. And at this stage of his career, I don't think that he can be out in space as a stand-up outside linebacker, but maybe he could be used in a platoon when the Vikings do have 4 down linemen in nickel on third down. Maybe. But that's why he's so low on this list. 11. Chad Beebe. Yeah, I forgot that Chad Beebe was still in the sphere. So he was. They turned down his RFA last year, and then he signed a minimal deal to stay with the Vikings. But I think that Beebe was a Kubiak and company experiment, so I don't think that he's going to be back at any price. 10. So Sheldon had himself a couple of nice ball games there, especially when Michael Pierce was out. But I think that the Vikings, they do have. They do have James Lynch. They do have Jalen Twyman. They do have Armand for Watts. And even though Sheldon, so Sheldon made a Pro Bowl playing 3-4 defensive end for the Jets back in the day. And since the Vikings are moving in that direction, maybe. I mean, plus Sheldon was playing all across the defensive line last year. 3-tech, D-end, etc. Maybe we should rethink this one. Maybe we should bump him up. Actually, we're going to do that because it's my channel. I can do what I want. We'll put him at 7. All right, so now the new number 10, Nick Cantelide Vigil, where he made a big splash right away with that pick 6 against Arizona, but yeah, not so much. Plus, there's a backlog of other linebackers that I want to see, even if and when Anthony Barr is gone. So I want to see more Chad Surratt. I want to see definitely more Blake Lynch, some more Troy Dye, etc. So yeah, Nick Candlelight, like he was a fine, like stopgap veteran, but no, 9. The aforementioned Anthony Barr. So what's interesting is that Anthony Barr is going to be on the Vikings books this year no matter what, even if he's on another team, because they added the 2 void years, and he'll be about $9.8 million against the cap, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. But so the way that Anthony Barr should have been used his entire career, and of course hindsight is 2020, but as that stand-up linebacker edge rusher, which he was so great at UCLA, where he played stand-up linebacker, played a little defensive end as well, very akin to how Florida State used Janarius Robinson, the 2021 fourth-round pick, who I'm excited to see again this year. Well, for the first time this year, because he was out last year with an injury. But if Anthony Barr wants to come back, stay with Kendricks on a 1-year minimal deal with some incentives, with very little, if nothing guaranteed, maybe. But that's the only circumstances. Plus, he's pushing 30, man. 8, Xavier Woods. So Xavier Woods was the only player to play every single defensive snap for the Vikings last year, and he was solid. And the problem is Harrison Smith is still there, still got some good football left. Cameron Bynum is ready to start. Every time 43 is on the field, good things happen. But 1-year cheap deal, maybe he played his way into some money, and for that we thank you. We'll get a compensatory pick in 2023. Sure. Sheldon in at 6 because I changed my mind. At 7, 6, you got Patrick Peterson. So balancing the age of Patrick Peterson as well as what he could potentially cost. Now, I love that he came in. He played some great football last year, even after he blew out his hamstring, and he was a great calming veteran force in the locker room. And I would be okay having that back at $4 million. I'm paying him $8 million again now. Oh, for some reason I forgot D.D. Westbrook. So D.D. I was pretty fired up about, and he does have history with Keenan McCardle, but I don't know. Didn't really do much as a wide receiver. He was a heart attack every time that he tried to return a punt, so I'll put him at 10. Sure, it's pretty low. Next up, number 4, Tyler Gronklin. Oh, sorry, this was cut and pasted from Spot Rack, so they misspelled his name. Gronklin. There we go. And he's only 26 and a half. He played great last year for the Vikings. And the problem is that the Vikings, with O'Connell, the Rams led the league in 11 personnel last year, and they're probably going to shift more towards that 3 wide receiver look. So Gronklin and Irv Smith on the same roster doesn't make a lot of sense, even though Irv is coming back from the meniscus. He's still on his rookie deal. I think Gronklin's played himself into a little bit of money. And it's not going to be huge, like maybe $5-6 million a year. But the Vikings' tight cap situation and the change of scheme on offense, maybe he's a luxury that the Vikings just will pass on. And, go get your bag, man. But again, Gronklin is great, but yeah, we'll see. 3, Jordan Berry. Jordan friggin' Berry ran out of Pittsburgh because it said his career was over. But no, Berry had the best year of his career, was one of the best punters in the NFL, and I love and appreciate him. And whoever the special teams coordinator is going to be, yeah, Jordan Berry on there. Number 2, so it's depressing that 2 specialists are in the top 3. It happens, man. But Greg Joseph is an exclusive rights-free agent, which means that the Vikings have right of first refusal. The Vikings have owner refusal. So they just be like, hey, this is how much you make because you're exclusive rights and you're restricted and then you're unrestricted. So, yeah, the Vikings are going to have Greg Joseph back. And I know that everyone and their mom, the whole Cardinals kick debacle, yes, but he's been a nail driver throughout most of the season, especially from 50+. He was great. Lastly, free agent number 1 that the Vikings should bring back, Mason Cole. Now, I'm not saying pay him $4 or $5 million a year as guaranteed starter money. I don't think that he would get that in free agency to begin with. But as a utility backup player, and we said this at the time, when the Vikings traded a 6th-round pick to the Cardinals for Mason Cole, who had been their starting, he started at left guard, and then he started center in 2020, but then they signed Rodney Hudson, or they acquired Rodney Hudson, and he was going to replace Mason Cole at center, so they punted him. And Mason Cole last year, when he filled in for Bradbury, who was on the Rona, as well as when he played some right guard, he was solid. He was really damn solid. And we said at the time, you're bringing him in to be your next Brett Jones. Like, he's a younger Brett Jones. He's a great scheme fit. The Vikings aren't going to change too many things up front with O'Connell and Wes Phillips coming in. So I would love to have Mason Cole back as a utility backup interior offensive lineman, and that should not preclude you from trying to go big game fishing for, Brian Allen or Ethan Posich or Brandon Scherf in free agency, or swinging for the fences on some interior offensive lineman in the draft. But cost-effective wise, he's not going to break the bank, and just having him on the roster for competition and depth, absolutely would love me some Mason Cole back. But let us know your thoughts on our thoughts. Free agents, ranking them. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.